So we're going to do mock-ups. We are on page number 73 in the guide. And if you're wondering what the guide is and thinking, well, geez, I'd like to write this all down, I did create a 113-page guide. It's not necessary. It's available up there in my link tree. Very, very reasonable. Hi, Salty. Welcome in. So $24.99 Canadian. It works out to be about 18 US, and it's 118 pages. So you can follow along with the lessons or learn at your own pace, or if you're up late and can't figure something out, it's all in there. Everything I teach, lessons 1 through 8. So that is there. So mock-ups. Lesson number 7, mock-ups. Before we jump into listing on Etsy, hello Shannon, welcome in. Welcome in Michelle, Helen, welcome in guys. Everybody who's coming in, welcome. We're going to dive into lesson number 7, mock-ups. So before we do the listing, which is lesson number 8, we got to talk about mock-ups because they're critical to your success and a must for Etsy. Etsy wants everything to look pretty. These images are what customers see first. So when they do their search on Etsy and all their images come up, if they're looking for their t-shirt, this is what they see first. So you want them to shine bright, look professional, and make it look more like a business and not that you just slapped some things together and didn't put any effort into it. So it's your product's first impression. So regardless if it is a t-shirt, sweatshirt, mugs, dog bandana, hi Peculiar, welcome in. No matter what you are selling, you want it to look professional. The mock-ups tell the story kind of your design. They show the buyers how it's going to look in real life. And that can be the difference between a scroll by and a sale. Hi, Deborah. Welcome in. And I'm going to be uploading this lesson to YT. So I'm going to be reading out questions. And if you do have any, just drop them. I'm going to read them out just so it makes sense when people are rewatching on YT. So we want people to add to baskets. So the mock-ups are going to really tell your story. This is the final step before we dive into doing our Etsy listing. I'm going to show you how to make mock-ups. So remember, it's not just click, 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 and you're making $10,000 a month. There is a little bit of work into it. I know it seems overwhelming at the beginning, but the more you do it, the less work it becomes. And you'll be well on your way. So I'm going to show you how to create them. So whether it's handmade items too, I do cover print on demand and digital in these lessons. You want the customer to kind of look at your product and go, oh, I see myself owning that. It has a vibe. So you can buy, so we're going to roll on here. So we're going to go through this whole thing. I'm going to take you through it all step by step. So you can buy high quality mock-ups, right here on Etsy from your fellow Etsy sellers. Okay, you're just going to want to take a look through. I know in the beginning, prices, and then you realize, oh, I didn't have the color shirt I want to offer, and you have to go back and buy another one. But there's many talented people who make mock-ups, and these are popular for a reason because they look wonderful. They've done a great job. So you can support one of your fellow Etsy sellers by purchasing from them. There are some budget-friendly ones if you want to get starting, or bundles. And I'm just showing you t-shirts. It would be the same for anything that you want to get a mock-up. That's somebody's business, right? If you want a mug, you can do the same thing, mug mock-ups. And you could just go and take a look and find ones that, convey a lifestyle to your customer for your product. So there's a mock-up for everything. Did I say hi, Deborah? I think I did. Hi, Deborah. If I didn't, I'm sorry. So you want something that's going also to fit your aesthetic and the vibe of your store. So try to keep it cohesive. If you're going with the minimalistic beiges, try to keep that with all your products. If you have that vibrant, funky vibe, try to get mock-ups like that. There's tons to purchase from. Just make sure it fits your store. Look at this. This is nice and cozy. You put your design here. That would be more for fall, but sweater weather type thing. So just find something that fits your aesthetic. And I'm going to show you several ways that we can get mock-ups. So the number one way is purchase from one of your fellow Etsy sellers. Now, there's something to keep in mind when you are purchasing mock-ups. What you want to do is, if you're making, let's see, I'm making one for the nurse category. So I'm going to go to my competition, and I typed in nurse t-shirt. And I'm just going to look through, their thumbnails, their very first one. What you notice here is they're clean. It's not cluttered. You clearly can see the design. And I just like to go through to get a feel of what other sellers are using for mock-ups, because I kind of want to stand out. After a while you start scrolling through, and I don't know if this is a duplicate, because I think I saw that before. People scroll and they just start doing the doom scroll and nothing's popping out. But if you notice, the design is clearly in the thumbnail. We don't have a lot of clutter. It's very clear on what the design is. So you want to feature your design. So I always like to start off checking out the competition, what mock-ups other sellers are using. And you'll often notice the same ones popping up again and again. And that's because they're beautiful and easy to use. But that also means your product could get lost in a sea of sameness. So take that into consideration. You want to keep it professional, but you may want to just do something a little bit different to stand out. And make sure you have your design clearly visible. We don't want to confuse and have coffee mugs and all kinds of text, and it just distracts the buyer. It's not visually pleasing. Think of it as a storefront. When you look at a window display, you're going through a small town in winter, and the beautiful windows, things catch your eye, and simplicity is the best to draw you in. Makes you want to take a look a little bit more. So try to just stand out a little bit with a unique background, but make sure you focus on your design, okay? And once you purchase mock-ups from Etsy, you'll have instant access to download them. Who is the target customer for mock-ups? Is it t-shirt sellers, etc.? There's mock-ups for everything. Okay, so here we have, as Print on Demand uploads new products, the mock-up makers, I like that. The mock-up makers get busy at making mock-ups. Some of these are you can do through Photoshop or Photopea, where you drop your image into the frame, same with Canva. So that's their product they sell. So here's one for mugs. Now, I know recently they introduced some new products onto Printify. So if we go to dog bandana mock-ups, so anything in the catalog on Print on Demand or whatever one you're using, there's going to be a mock-up for it. Like here's bandana collar mock-ups. The little, you drop your design in here and it pops right on the bandana. Bundle of 12 lifestyle realistic dog bandanas. So if there's a product in the Printify catalog or whatever Print on Demand partner you're using, there is generally a mock-up for it, because that's what someone spends the time to do in making these mock-ups for you. Let's take a look at the soapstone coaster, see if they have any. It's another product on Printify. Let's see if there's any mock-ups. Of course. So people get busy making, mock-ups for everything. Here's 12 templates, and it has the car coasters in it. A variety of different ones that you can just drop your design in. And so there is a mock-up for everything. There really is. So just take into consideration what your competition is doing and try to stand out just a little bit. Okay, the second method for creating mock-ups, that one's easy. We're not creating, we're purchasing. And over time, as you get more sales flowing in, you can invest in more mock-ups. I know everything costs at the beginning and it seems a little like money here, money there. So you can start with one, couple of purchased ones, but I'm going to show you also how to make them. We are going to make some in Midjourney. Again, Midjourney does not have a free version anymore, unfortunately. But I will show you what it can do. And we're going to go to Playground too. We can make mock-ups there. So it's we have several options to help get you by, because Playground has, that you can create 10 images every 3 hours on the free version. So we're going to go, I'm going to stick to those two. And I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to let AI do the heavy lifting. And you can also create mockups in Canva. And we are going to use Canva to jazz up our mockup. So we're going to get ready to make our product story, basically. So we're going to use some AI. We're going to go into Midjourney. And Midjourney I work on through the Discord because I like being in the creative space and learning how other people are prompting. Everybody's working here at one time. And we went through that in lesson number 3, must have tools. And we touched base on it in lesson number 5, a little bit more about Midjourney. I can watch and take a look here, what words people are using, photorealistic, hyper-realistic. And just you get to learn by working in the creative space. Now, Midjourney also does have, if you go to midjourney.com, your own private space where all your designs are saved and your prompts are saved. So it's beneficial when you really like a prompt or you're doing customized things and want to keep using the same prompt. So it's all here. Unfortunately, like I said, there is no longer a free plan. When I started, when Midjourney started, I started and I got to use it for free. So the basic plan is $10 a month. I never run out of images. I just keep creating and I've never run out and had to top up. So that's just the quick plan on that. And Playground is going to be free for your 10 image creations every 3 hours. So we're going to go over there too and create in Playground. So I'm just going here in Playground or Midjourney. We have 20 rooms. And we just pick one that we like. I try to find one that's not super busy. If it gets busy, you just switch to another room. So we're going to start in here. And you're thinking, okay, well, Tina, you know what? I'm not very good at prompts. Well, we have our little assistant, ChatGPT. So we're going to start in ChatGPT and get a prompt and let it do the heavy lifting for us. We're going to just say what we want to do, what we want to create. And because I am creating a nurse's t-shirt, that's what I do throughout these lessons. I'm going to stick with that theme and I want to generate a nice, interesting cover photo for my mock-up. So I'm going to ask Chat, can you provide me with a prompt for Midjourney? Always tell ChatGPT what AI you're using, because AI, they're besties. They know each other. They know what the requirements are. A prompt for Midjourney AI. And in lesson 6, I uploaded our Nurses Are Groovy design. So I want to create something for that nurse's niche that's just going to stand out a little bit. I would like a girl smiling. A girl smiling with short brown hair. She is wearing a Bella in Canvas, because that's my shirt I am using, 3001 white t-shirt. I would like to use this. I would like to use this for a mock-up. I need the front of the shirt to be visible. So I want her smiling. I want short brown hair, because I don't want it to cover the graphics. You could say, can I have cascading hair? Do not cover the front of the shirt. I'm just going to go with the short brown hair. She's wearing a Bella on Canvas 3001 white t-shirt. I would like to use this for a mock-up. I'm going to say leave shirt blank, just to be sure. Leave shirt blank. And I like the shirt to be visible. In the background, I would like blurred white ambulances. Focus to be on the shirt. So I'm going to get ChatGPT to create me a prompt for Midjourney. Okay, it compressed it here. So I'm going to take this prompt. I'm just going to copy it. And I'm going to go into Midjourney. And we always start with /imagine to let them know we're ready to prompt. And I'm going to paste that in there. So it gave me a young woman smiling with short brown hair wearing a plain Bella on Canvas 3001 white t-shirt. Front of shirt fully visible, shirt left blank for design placement, realistic lighting, photorealistic style, 4K, ultra high definition, depth of field background with blurred white ambulances, focus on the t-shirt. So that's what GPT gave me for Midjourney. So we're going to generate, and Midjourney always gives you 4, and they count it as 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to get it to generate us some mock-ups. Now let's see what that brings us. It's at 20%, 32%, so it just counts down your time. It's pretty quick. And if you have any questions, just drop them in. I sometimes get teaching and I forget to look down. So it has brought us up some. Oh, wonderful. So we count 1, 2, 3, and 4. I kind of like this one right here, number 3. So I would do upscale 3 because I really like it. If I wanted to vary them, I could vary them here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, they do, Patricia. A lot of people sell them too. Oh, you're welcome, Sophia. Yes, Etsy does allow AI mock-ups. A lot of the mock-ups that are sold there are done with AI too. So we can do it too in AI. So I like this one here. So I'm going to hit upscale number 3. And it's just going to upscale it for me and bring it up. You're welcome, Patricia. And perfect. We've got enough for our design here. It's a little bit different than all the mock-ups you see now. And I mean, we can stretch it out when we get into our mock-ups, when we do them in Canva. We can stretch it out, but the focus, the lighting is on the shirt. So that's one way to make mock-ups. So you can upscale that. And I kind of like this one. I'm going to save the page as, and I'm going to call it, I think, Nurse 100 mock-up. I don't know what number I'm on. And I'm just going to save that. Now, you want to create images that people can envision themselves in. You know, it's a whole lifestyle. It's a vibe. This, to me, screams, hey, I'm a nurse. Now, you can, too, also remember to do inclusive sizes. That's going to catch people's eyes. We're not all built the same, right? Everyone's not skinny mini. Everybody's not white. You can create whatever you like. So I can go back to chat and say, can you provide the same prompt, but I would like a larger lady. Let's do a plus size. I would like a plus size girl. So we'll just get them to modify. And we're going to do copy. And then we will try to regenerate and have some inclusivity so that that person can envision the shirt on themselves. Let's see how it does. You have, is it unlimited in Midjourney? You have so many per month. And I've never exceeded it. I never have. While that's generating, I'll just plop into here and bring that up for you. So the basic plan gives you 200 images per month. 200 with commercial terms, fast image jobs. I have the basic plan and I've never had an issue. Because once you create your mock-ups, remember, you're only going to be changing that thumbnail seasonally. And then you're going to create your base ones with all your colors. So you're going to have them in Canva. You're going to always have them. So you don't have to keep coming in and regenerating. You're welcome. So let's go pop back here. Okay, so not quite what I wanted. I wanted, this is still somebody who's, of, you know, it's not super, it's still tailored. The shirt is tailored, but you can really change them up by your prompt. And, you know, if it depends what you're selling. If you're selling for Black History Month, you could say, you know, I like an African American woman with an afro. Give that vibe. And let's do that one. The same prompt above, but I would like an African American woman with an afro standing, because that's what I'm selling, standing in front of a graffiti wall. Urban vibe. So whatever your vision is, I'm going to copy that. And we're going to go back to Midjourney. So whatever you prompt, it's going to work for you and give you something that you can use as a thumbnail that is going to stand out. Remember, we want the focus on the shirt. And when we go to do that in Canva, I will show you how we stretch it. You still have a little bit of background. Oh, enter. Somebody's making a wine glass here. Got a nice quiet room. Sometimes everyone's designing and they're just popping like crazy. But like I said, you can learn from other people's prompts. Okay, so we're only at 39% incoming. Now, you can see here these shirts, it's not enough visually to put your design on. This one's pretty darn good. So we have our graffiti wall. She's smiling, and we can put our graphic here for Black History Month. No problem. So you can create whatever lifestyle or vibe that you want. If you want blurred lights in the background, and you can just create as many as you want. Same with, you know, the dog bandanas. You just have to remember what your design is like and how you're going to put it onto the shirt or the mug. Same thing. Like, let's go here. Imagine. I'm not going to use chat. Can you create a white mug mock-up? I would like the focus to be on the mug. It is sitting on a wood table. In the background, I would like a kitchen and pumpkins sitting on the table. Pumpkins sitting on the table behind the mug. So you don't always have to go to ChatGPT. If you want something simple, you can prompt it yourself. If you're not liking the results, you can copy your prompt and take it over, and ChatGPT will give you a more defined prompt, you know, about lighting and everything. I didn't say anything about lighting. I kept it very basic. And wow, look at that. So we do have some nice shadows here. I mean, you just pay attention that it's the type of mug that you have. Compare the handle for what Print on Demand offers. So this is pretty good. It's going to show your design. And now we have one for a seasonal product. So you're not constantly purchasing and you just want to change up your cover photo. So it has a pumpkin in the back. It's got that clean aesthetic. This one here bothers me because I like the handle to the right. I mean, I'm sure the left-handed people, if you wanted to mark it as a left-handed mug. This one's not too bad at all either. So you can design whatever you like, whatever your niche is. Just remember, when you're in Midjourney, I'm going to reiterate, as I do in lesson number 3 and lesson number 5, we cannot use anybody else's images. If somebody said, "Oh, I like that, I could use that as my mock-up," they can't take yours. They can learn from your prompt. And we cannot, the same, take anybody else's images. They own the commercial license for that. So nobody can take these right now. Now, the good thing about Midjourney is when you go to the privatespace.com here, when you go into your private space, it keeps all your images. It hasn't refreshed. Let me refresh it. Everything you make, your images are in here. So don't be afraid of losing them. You can just come in here. So later on, if I decide I want to use this mug or this mock-up, I have them here in my own personal space. So they're saved there. So they work hand in hand, Discord and the midjourney.com. So back to the Discord. So you can create some pretty powerful mock-ups for your thumbnail to try to stand out. Like I said, as nice as, everybody's mock-ups are here, I mean, they're popular for a reason. It just starts to look the same after a while. Like, look, we have blonde hair, blonde hair, blonde hair, blonde hair, blonde hair. We have the flat lays. That's why sometimes people like to enjoy the flat lays, because we're all different sizes and shapes and colors. So this way the person can put themselves in the shirt. You want to kind of convey that this is for everybody, right? And you can do that. You have 10 images. Sorry, I'm still learning, but I'm in Midjourney. You are publicly designing and all can see what you do. Yes, 100%. If you are going through the Discord, so if you are creating it, this is a creative design space for everyone. Everyone else is, making their stuff and they can see what you're making. If you don't want that, you can go into midjourney.com, the actual website, and privately create here. So yes, it is a creative workspace. They can see what you're doing. But if you go to midjourney.com, web-based, you can do it all here by yourself. So here's your prompt up here, and you just see it. I like in the public creative space because I like to learn keywords for prompts. If you see an image you really, really like, let's see if I can go into another room. This is a nice quiet room. I like designing in it. If you kind of like what this person is doing, you're going to take a look. Minimalist design with maximum detail, isolated on white background. You can kind of learn certain prompts to create an image. And we also use Midjourney. We're doing mock-ups now, but in creating. So when you're creating your graphics for whatever you're doing in print on demand, if you see something you like, you can take their prompt. And I just pop into the rooms. Beautiful architecture, classic villa. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find one that has a little bit more descriptors in the prompt when I'm looking for one. So you learn contrasting background, hyper-realistic. What's this one? Beige gradient background, no watermark, text overlay. So you can learn from other people who, you can tell the ones who have been doing Midjourney a long time. Smooth skin texture and eyes with no blur and hyper detail in 2D clip art. The style of Louise. So if you really like this, you would know that's the style of Louise. Sharp focus, bold lines. So you can learn from other people's. That is correct. If you have a Midjourney subscription, you can either work in the Discord or you can work on midjourney.com. So you have the choice. You have to go through, you have to join on Midjourney and then go through the Discord. So yep, you can do both. So that is one way to create your own mock-ups. We also use, like I said, we use Midjourney for creating our graphics too. I'll just quickly show you. So we were creating in lesson 5 graphics for shirts because I stick to shirts. Like, look how cute these are. We used a prompt and Midjourney made it for us. Then we take this and remove the background and we have a prompt that we can, image that we can build upon, add words, add more stuff in the background in Canva. So it's a starting point for creating your product and for making mock-ups. So any questions about the Midjourney and making the mock-ups there? It's quick, it's simple. It's nice to change out for seasonal. You know, you don't want to end up purchasing, you know, a bundle that you use at Halloween once a year. And that's generally how they work. They bundle them all together for one season. If you can find a bundle that has all the seasons in it, that's great. This way you can just jump in and make one yourself. And Midjourney is one option. So the next one we're going to do is going to be Playground, where we can create mockups. So this is playground.com. If you haven't been in any of my other lessons, we're in playground.com, which is another AI, which is becoming one of my favorites. I'll give you the pricing on it. So they do have a free. You get to create 10 images every 3 hours. So if you're coming in and you have a day that you're going to be making mockups, you can do 10 of them. And remember, once you make them, you're going to upload them into Canva and you're going to have them all the time for that color shirt. So you don't have to keep making your base ones. You get 3 GPT-4o edits per month, and that's for words. And then you get to use your images commercially. Brother Mo, do you go live every day? Yes, I do. Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then this is the one I have. I can create 120 images every 3 hours. I have 150 GPT-4o edits per month, which is the high detail spelling. We know AI can't spell. They have an issue with spelling mistakes. I get faster image creation. Premium designs, because there are pro features. Of course, every program has pro features that you need to pay for. And unlimited upscaling and background removal. And we learned in lesson number 5 that we need to remove our backgrounds, but there's free tools out there that I showed you. So we're coming here. We're going to stay focused on mockups. So in Playground, we have all these categories. You know, IG posts, t-shirts, logos, phone covers, mugs, you name it, templates that you can go into. Well, of course, we are doing mockups, so I'm going to go into the mockups. And once again, we have oodles of mockups in here for hats, for artwork, for planners. Just remember, when you're making your mockup has to represent your product. Okay, you can't be showing a color comfort shirt tie-dyed when you're selling a Gildan 15,000 that's not tie-dyed. So we have to prompt and get AI to make what we want exactly. So there is tons in here, and you can see seasonal. There's aprons. Oh, here's a mug. Like, that's pretty close to what we created in Midjourney, right? Now remember, you cannot use these as is. This is somebody else has made these and sold them to Playground as a template to start with. You've got invitations, all kinds of mock-ups. Tons of mock-ups. So I'm going to grab one. And I love this one right now because we're going to be approaching, as far as sales go, we're listing Halloween and Christmas. So I like that cozy cardigan feeling. So I'm going to pick this one. Now, because we like this mock-up, we may like these ones. And you can just kind of take a look. You know, this is the oversized one if you're doing the bachelorette and you want that big graphic. That's kind of cool. We've got a new one here. So you can take one, but we're going to rework. They have the, you know, toddlers, men's. So we can just, sweatshirts, we can choose. But I like this one. So I cannot use that as is. I'm starting to see people's using these as mock-ups. That very first one, we can't. You can't use it. So we're going to prompt it. And Playground is pretty good. So I'm going to do Bella Canvas, and I want the color True Royal. So I'm going to, because people I've heard sometimes have a hard time matching the colors. They say it's not coming out what the actual color is. Well, what you're going to do is ask ChatGPT. Can you get me the hex code? So hex code is color code. Can you get me the hex code for Bella and Canvas 3001 t-shirt? So I'm going to start here to get the exact color. Okay. But here are some appropriate for common colors. I didn't ask for common colors. Oh, he's going to be difficult with me today. I need it for their royal blue, please. There's the hex code. So here's the color code for it right here. I made him look that up. I'm just going to copy that. And we'll go back into Playground. Okay, so I'm going to say, can you change the t-shirt to Bella and Canvas 3001 hex code, and I'm going to put that code there, that color code. And can you change the sweater, because remember we have to change this, to a fuchsia pink. So we're going to let it do its magic. And we got our tracker right here. That's going to show us where we're at. The blue will go around. So we have to change them. And it's almost there. Water break. Almost there. I'm doing a basic change here, and you can modify it to whatever you would like. I'm going to show you in a moment how you can change the background a little bit. But remember, we kind of want the feature on the shirt if you're using this for your main thumbnail image on Etsy. You want the product to be the feature. You get down into other photos out of the 10, you can add a little bit more of a vibe, a lifestyle photos. And we're almost there. And don't forget, if you have questions, just drop them. And if you ever miss a lesson, I'm now uploading to YT. I have lessons 1 through 5. The link's up in my link tree, and you can follow along there too. Okay, so there we go. I didn't tell it was a blue color. I gave it the hex code, and look at that. And it's brought up the True Royal for Bella and Canva. So that's how simple it is to get your own mock-up. Then you would export it. I don't need to upscale it because it's pretty crisp photo. You're just going to hit download, and you have your mock-up. Now you can go back here. Remember, you'll have 10 free. What is Bella and Canva? Bella and Canvas is a t-shirt brand in print on demand. So you have Gildan, Bella and Canvas, you have Color Comforts. It's just the different brands of t-shirts that are offered on print on demand. Amazing. I keep missing. I was waiting for you to start back over and I missed it. Actually, we are on lesson 7. Tomorrow will be the final lesson 8. So on Friday, I will be starting all over again. But you can catch YT. Where did you get the hex code again? I'm sorry. It's okay. It's all right. And you know, you're not late, Shame Spiral. Welcome in. You just ask ChatGPT and let ChatGPT search the internet for you and come up with that code, the color code. So now what you would do is, can you change the t-shirt color to black? So you have 10 free every 3 hours with the unpaid plan. What's a realistic monthly salary one can earn doing this? Well, I know you've probably been told, $10,000, click here, click there, and you'll make money. There's a lot that goes into it. Yes, people are very successful. The key is research, which I do in lesson 1. You need to research what is selling. We can't be making stuff that we like and nobody's searching for. You need to have your finger on the pulse of what's trending and what people are actually searching for. And I do that in lesson number 1, or you can catch that on YT. So there, now we have a black one that we can use in our mock-ups. So whatever colors you're using, depends how many you have. You can only have 10 photos. You want to put some product information cards in there. I like to offer 5 to 7 colors. It helps with decision fatigue. People get too many colors. They don't know what they want. I want people to add to my basket. So that's personally what I like to do, is don't offer too many options. It makes it hard for people to make a decision, because you got to remember, people can be at work ordering, kids are running around, and if they can't make that decision, that's where you get an abandoned cart, because they're not sure in color. So if you give them a limited choice, it's easier for them to make that decision. Hi, what program is this for the color change? This is Playground AI that we are using, playground.com. So then I would just go in, I'm going to do, can you change the shirt color to white? So if I offer 5 colors, I'm going to do my 5 colors here. You're welcome. And I'm going to download them all. And they're going to be ready to go into Canva. And we're going to finish up our mock-ups in there. So that's how simple it is to create mock-ups within Playground and Midjourney. So we're just going to let that one done. That should give me a white shirt. Just be very particular. Tell them what brand of shirt you're using. Get the proper hex code so that there's no discrepancy when the customer orders it and it shows up a different color than the picture. So plain white t-shirt. Bada boom, bada bing. Now, if you want, we can change this up and say, can you change the cardigan to red and add a Christmas tree in the background with lights. Type properly with lights. It's hard to type. I have the stand in front of me and I got to go around it like this, and I don't want to knock it over. You guys will get all dizzy. So this again touches on the seasonal. If you want to use a mock-up from Playground and remix it and add a Christmas tree in the background, you can. You're not limited to stuck with what mock-ups you've purchased, because then you're like, okay, I've already spent $40 on mock-ups. I didn't get that color I need. When a season comes around and you want to change up your colors that you offer, and then it's like, off you go to buy another one. You can just quickly do one. So there, now I've got a red cardigan with the white t-shirt with some Christmas lights in the back. Now we can say, can you, the girl's hair to brown. So whatever's in your mind, what you have in your mind from everything. You pay attention to the hair, the skin color, the size. You can prompt it to change it to what you would like. So I'm just having it change the hair color. If you notice, in my niche, the nurse niche, all of the models had blonde hair. Is that speaking to the brunettes? Is that speaking to the redheads? So, like I said, you want to try to stand out in a sea of the same. Do you need to make a certain amount of changes to be able to use the mock-up? You have to change it once. Hi, is this a paid course? It's my first time here. Well, welcome in. If you're here, there's no charge. I teach for free Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do have a guide in my link tree. It's very inexpensive. It's not a multi-level marketing where you have to buy more and $500. It's $24.99 Canadian and 18 US. 113 pages, and everything I'm teaching is in there. You can follow along. You miss a lesson, you can pop in and you can follow along in the guide and know which one you need help with and pop in, or follow along on YT. 5 lessons are up there right now that you can also follow along and refer to the guide. So now there we go. Look, we have brown hair. We have brown hair. So you can really play around with the AI and generate what you want. I find this a little bit dark, you know, but I said a Christmas tree with lights. I guess it would assume that it was dark out. So you could specify, can you brighten it up? So can you brighten up the photo? Awesome, Anna. Awesome. Welcome in. What part of Canada are you in? Okay, we're just waiting on that one. And then we're going to move along to the actual part. Ah, you're out west. Awesome. And brother is in Vancouver. Wonderful. We've got the West Coast being represented. Oh, we got the East Coast, Ottawa. Anyone from the Maritimes? And I'm sure we have a lot here from our southern cousins. This is Playground AI. So playground.com. So it brightened it up a little bit. I would still tweak it. I'm just giving an example. I find it still a little dark, but that, oh, howdy from Texas. Welcome in. So I would go to, if I wanted a little bit more complex and brighten it up, I would go into ChatGPT and just say, hey, and I could even save this photo and upload it to ChatGPT and say, I would like this, you know, a little bit brighter, more focus on the front, and get them to, get him to give me a prompt. Oh, hello from Newfoundland. We're out there on the rock. Welcome in. Oh, now I'm going to start thinking about lobster. Okay, focus. Focus. So that's Playground AI, and just explore it. Take a look around. Remember, you can't use the mock-ups that you see. You need to remix them. So whatever you're searching for, see if they have an option for you. Flat lay, they got real cute ones here. Keep into consideration, you want to make sure you prompt it that you're representing the shirt and the color that the customer is going to buy, because you don't want to show a bright yellow and really it's a butter yellow because you thought, okay, good enough. The customer is not going to be happy. It's all tied in. They get their order and they leave you a 1 star. So it all ties in. Make sure you're representing exact. Oh, poutine, welcome in. Poutine, welcome in. Oh, okay, I'm hungry. Lobster, poutine. Oh no. Oh no, okay. No more food. Oh, yum, I know. Gravy, cheese curds. Anyway, okay, let's stay focused. Like, here's a cute invitation one. So play around with Playground. If it's not their slogan, it really should be play around with Playground. You get 10 free every 3 hours. So you can focus on making your mock-ups one day because you've already done designing. That's why I teach it in this order. We create our products, we upload it to Printify, we do our mock-ups, and then we do our Etsy listing. And like I said, once you save and you've designed Bella and Canvas, I can tell by the tag, that's Bella and Canvas. Once you've designed your mock-ups, you're going to reuse them over and over again and change up your thumbnail once in a while. Okay, so let's get into actually putting the mock-ups together and getting them ready to go to Etsy. And you're thinking, okay, how do I get them to Etsy? I need to make them, I need to put some product features in. We are going to use our trusty friend, Canva. And everything we're doing here, you can do with the free version. Except if you're using certain elements, you may not be able to use the pro elements, but you can find something for sure to help you out. So you think, okay, I've got to create. We've got 10 images on Etsy, and we want to use all 10. All 10 are not going to be photos. We're going to put some product information cards in there and a size chart. So don't think, okay, I got to do 10. I got to have all 10. No, we want to put some information in there so when the person is scrolling through, they get a little bit of information fed to them. So I'm just going to quickly pop into Etsy here. I'm going to go to my shop manager and I'm going to show you where you find the information. And you'll just remember this after a little while. So let me go into here. When you do your mock-ups, like when we go to the Etsy listing, they're going to give you all the information right here. What you can use, a JPEG, a PNG. The recommended size is 2000. Resolution 72 ppi. So we do it 2000 by 2000. You know the mock-up in MJ you made with the girl in front of the ambulances. Did you already show how you got your image onto that? No shame. I have not done that yet. We just did some designing, some mock-ups. So that's coming up. That is what is coming up. So you have all that information there. If you go to a listing, you'll just get to know. Listing videos can only be 3 to 15 seconds long. And trust me, not a second after. I tried to squeeze in an extra second in one of my videos and it cuts it off. So 15 seconds. I'm going to show you how to do videos. Of course, we can't order every product. So you're thinking, okay, I can't order every product a sample to have a model on it so I can do a video. I'm going to show you a way around that. Etsy likes you to fill in everything. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is where we get our photo requirements. I always do in PNG 2000 by 2000. Now, I've heard that Etsy is allowing you to expand now. They haven't given the dimensions. It's going to be 3000 by 2250 pixels. But just keep using 2000 by 2000, a square. I did have one that I updated. Actually, it's this one yesterday that showed a little bit longer. So until they really enforce that, 2000 by 2000 is, it's pretty new. And I don't know if it's this one. Let me preview. No, it must not be in this one. Okay, it's not in there. So we're doing 2000 by 2000. So we're going to go in here. And actually, I have mine open. You're just going to, what you'll do is you'll hit create. And you'll just input 2000 by 2000 pixels. That'll give you a nice square. And you're going to create new design. You go live every day, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time. I start at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And 8 p.m. Eastern time. The last 2 lessons are 2 hours long because they're involved, mock-ups and Etsy listings. So they go on average for 2 hours and the rest of the days are about an hour and a half, unless we get sidetracked, squirrel. Then you're going to create a new design, which I'm not going to do. I already have one open because it would take forever. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up I can get rid of this, I guess. No, I won't. You're going to upload all your images into here. You'll just hit upload. You're going to go to your, upload your files. You're going to find the mock-ups that you just made. Like here's the nurse mock-up I made. I'm going to open it. And boom, there it is. I'm going to delete that one and use her. Oops, add a page. Move the page up. So there it is. And your mock-ups will forever live here until you delete them. So you can see I have mock-ups down here. And you can just kind of go through and go mock up. And it'll bring up mock-ups that you have stored in Canva. See, here's my paid ones. So once you upload them, they're here. I think you can rename them, which I just haven't gotten to. Or you can move them all to a folder called Mockups, and I just haven't had time to do that. So you can create a new folder, and so you always have Mockups all in one spot. I just type in Mockup for now. I haven't had a chance to do it. So all my Mockups live here. So when I come in and I'm offering a new color, I know I have the color. I'm just going to grab it and move it over and do a few tweaks and add my design. So I just uploaded. I'm going to go to my uploads. Let me get rid of Mockup. I'm going to grab the one we just designed. I'm going to move that over to my canvas. So I'm just going to click that over there. So we got our 2000 by 2000. What I do is I duplicate it 9 more times. So I have 9 boxes that I know I have to fill out. And every listing should have your 10 images. Total of 10. So there's what we made in Mid-Journey. I'm going to use this as my thumbnail. I want to stand out a little bit and look a little different. You can crop her off if you want. But I want to see the ambulances there. We have ample room for our design. And you're just going to repeat with every mock-up you have. You're just going to, you have your 10 pages. You're going to go to what you uploaded, find your mock-up. You know, if you want to put this one in, if you're just going to add it and stretch it out. Add and stretch it out. You can move this around. If you want to, you know, bring it up, you can kind of tell how it should be positioned so that your product is seen. Pull this out. You're just going to move it around. So you're going to create 10 of those. Now we're going to upload our design. So you've done your designing and you've got your files named. So it's going to be easy to find. So you're going to go to upload files. It's very important to name your files. Now, I have it already uploaded because I can only have so many files here of the same one. So it would be nurses are groovy. And here we go. So I've got my image here. Just click it and I would open it and it's going to come into Canva. So, of course, I already have it here. I'm just going to go into my uploads and I'm going to type nurses. And there it is. So once you've uploaded your graphic, you're just going to pull it over here. Okay, so there's our mock-up. Do it the best to represent the size. You know, mine's approximately 11 inches. She's kind of twisted a little bit. I'm going to turn that to make it look more natural. Excuse me. So now it kind of looks like it's kind of sitting on top of the shirt. I don't know if it's represented well through. It just looks a little bright. So it looks more like an RGB colors instead of how it's actually going to print on the shirt. So what I do is we just want to go to this transparency here. And let's just bring this down a little bit to make it look like it's more on the shirt without losing the integrity. Because it's not going to print as bright on the screen. So that looks a little bit better. It's usually around 82. Perfect. So that's how you get rid of that really brash looking graphic that you say, okay, that's not on the shirt. That's sitting on top of it. And you'll notice it. Once you start doing mock-ups, you'll really point out that, okay, that person didn't lower the transparency. And that can lead to poor reviews too, because the image looks brighter on the screen, and we always put that in our listing note. Colors may be varied due to screen settings, blah, blah, blah. That's always good to put in your listing. So just dial down that transparency to make it look like it fits on the shirt. And that's all you basically want for your thumbnail. We don't want any information. We don't want stars, and you can do that, but it looks cluttered. We already have the ambulances in the back. We have we want them to see this. Now you can make that bigger if you wanted to, but I don't want to lose the little sirens back here. Now what you do is we've pulled in we're put all of our mock-ups in, all the colors we were offering. Remember, if you offer more than 10 colors, you're going to have a color chart. You're not going to be able to put your image on the colors for the customers to see. And that's a personal choice. So what I do is I just duplicate my graphic. And I'm going to bring it down. And we're going to have to, of course, change it up. I know I'm about 11 inches. And boom, that one is done. Now we're going to just build on this. I left my little rectangle here. You're just going to grab, I always put the colors on, and it'll make sense to you when we do our Etsy listing. I use a variety. What platforms do you do your designs in? JR, I do a variety. I create in Canva. I create in Playground AI. I use Midjourney AI. So I use a variety, which I cover. I cover my core products. There are many other AIs out there. Everybody has their own preference. So now we're going to kind of jazz this up because this is what the customer is going to see when they click the arrow to scroll through. I like to put what color it is so it's not confusing to the customer, especially if I have, excuse me, if I have several blues I'm offering. I don't want the customer to have to guess which color blue. And I'll give you an example of that. Let's go here to our nurse's shirt. Let's grab this one. So you go into an Etsy listing. This is what you're going to be viewing, and this is what we're working on, our mock-ups for our Etsy listing. So you go into here. Okay, there we go. And you're scrolling through. The customer's scrolling through. Is that beige or is that white? Hard to tell. Or is it a sand? Click through. I don't know if that's navy or if that's black. Now we have baby onesies. Now we have a color chart. Okay, so I'm looking and I'm confused here. Color chart. Oh, that's youth shirts, toddlers. And that's a 3005. So now I come over here and I'm going to select. Now I have to figure out, okay, what I want. Okay. Then I come to my color option. So I've got white, sand, royal maroon, heathered peach. What color do I want? Now I've got to go back here. I don't know if that's white or if that's sand. Did they have navy? Yeah, there's navy. So is that navy or black? And then I'm going to go through here. Now I got to find the color chart. Okay, now I've got to zoom this out. I don't get to see what the graphic looks like on it. What color do we want? I don't know. So now I've got decision fatigue. I don't know. There's so many colors. Is it heathered or is it not? They're not telling me what it is. And that's probably why there's 20 views, but they've got to here. I want somebody to click here, have their choice, boom, add to basket and check out. Don't make it difficult for them to make that decision on checking out. So let's get back into Canva. So I create you're just going to get a rectangle. I made it transparent and I added what color this is. So nobody's guessing if that is, a cream or whatever it may be. And it really comes 100% shame spiral. Too many colors, decision fatigue, not adding to basket, moving along. We want them to add to cart because we know. We know exactly what we're ordering. That's white. That's true royal. So you can jazz this up too. And I like to put, you can put whatever you like. I like to put this cotton here. And it's in elements. I like to just put 100% cotton. Just remind them that it's 100% cotton. It's white. And I've uploaded all my other ones. Also, do some branding. So if you haven't created a logo, you can do that in Playground too. I like to put my logo here, and I don't want it to stand out too much, so I just bring down the transparency. Just a gentle branding. In the guide, does it have all the recommended resolutions for shirts when posting? It shows you how to get to them. Yes, it does. Oh, the guide for the shirts when posting. Do you mean the shirts for Printify or these here? If it's for Printify, I show you how to get what the pixels are to set up. So if you need the pixels, how many pixels you should be setting up your design for Printify, for the graphic, it's all in the guide. If you need to find out what this should be, there is like here. I show you right here where to get that information, and the information is right there. And it tells you all in the guide. Right here, 2000 by 2000. I give all the information there in the guide, for sure. numbers are important when setting things up because we want high resolution and 300 DPI when it comes to our graphics. So this here you rinse and repeat. And like I say, I keep it very simple. I want them to know the color. It's made of cotton and just, a little bit of branding. Then they can come down to the next one. So you just repeat. You upload your blue one, put your graphic on. You can just come up here and duplicate this and keep it consistent. Then product cards. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, 411. I appreciate that. And if you have any questions with the guide, you pop into a lesson and I can answer the questions for you. And for those watching on YT, the link to the guide is down below. If you want to check that out to help you, you can follow along, you can write on it or refer to it when you don't feel like watching, my 1.5 to 2 hour lesson. The guide here on TT is up in the link tree. It's the very first one. So we want to create some product information cards. Let's go to another listing in here and take a look on what kind of information we have. We went into that one, so let's go into this one here and see what they're offering. I mean, it's not rocket science. We're selling a shirt, but we want people to have a nice experience, and Etsy wants them to have a nice experience. So we have a mock-up here, another mock-up. Now, is that white or is that cream? White or is it natural? I don't know. Is it white or natural? That's the only reason why I put the colors on. So what color blue is that? Here's the blue is very important. So we have navy. We know what navy is. Is that a light blue? Is that a true royal? Is that a heathered? Is it heathered? It looks kind of heathered. Is it a heathered? Okay, so now I have to guess what color that is. And it kind of does look heathered. So now myself as a buyer, I have to sit here and make that decision. I'm going to just say screw it. So now I have to come here. Oh, maybe it's true royal. I don't know. It's true. Is it true royal? But it looks heathered. So I want the customer to, boom, 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 bang, boom, add to cart. Size chart. So they're giving information, long sleeve size chart. So just take a look what other people have for, and not just in the t-shirt niche, in all of them. If you're selling in a different niche, take a look at mugs. What information do they provide? So let me go to Halloween mugs. Let's go to there and take a look. So whatever you are selling, you're going to click on it and see what they offer you. What information. Oh, here's the long one. There's the long one. So they're showing that we're pouring coffee. We've got another mock-up. Okay. Okay, this is lost. I didn't know what I was looking at here. We want to feature that product. Now, the one thing I notice here is now, we know a lot of people, they shop visually. They don't want to read. They don't have the time. So now I have to come down here. Oh, here, we have it right here. It's right at the top. Ghost 11-ounce coffee mug. So I had to look at the title. It's only 11 fluid ounces. You could put a product information card in here and say 11 ounce available and show the height of it. You can buy a mock-up and show the height. Let me go to here. Let me get you an example. You want to give them some information. Let me go to my listings and let me go to my coffee cup. Coffee. And I'll show you the mock-up here. I've purchased some. The question is, what is your favorite mock-up site? I purchased some from fellow Etsy sellers. Support them. I find some that I like. I make some in Playground AI, which we just did, and in Midjourney. So there's many options. And then we kind of tweak it in Canva to get it all ready. So here's what I did for my coffee cup. So I made a video, and I'll show you guys how to do that. This classifies as a video because it's animated. So I said it's dishwasher safe, microwave safe. Perfect. Double-sided graphic. So remember, people shop by photos. So give them the information. So double-sided graphic. 3 sizes. Wonderful. So they're looking at the sizes. 11 ounce. 15 ounce. 20 ounce. So I just put some information. Dishwasher safe, easy for cleaning, microwave safe for convenient heating, vibrant colors that pop, large easy grip handle for comfort, available in 3 sizes, 11, 15, and 20 ounces. So it's very easy to make a decision on what you would like. I give this the height of each mug, 11 ounce, how high it is, 16, just so they have a rough idea. So when they come over here, it's like, okay, I want the 15 ounce, away I go. I don't even have to read the description. I don't even have to go into that. The description now is just for SEO. So give them a little bit of information. You want to sell it. And like I said, a lot of people won't expand this and go down. You know, they're not going to read great gift for Boo Basket. Some do, some don't. So that's what I'm talking about, having some product information when you're reading. And what I just looked at, I don't have the color. So after they're looked at a few of the mock-ups here, again, I just duplicate this, change the color, add your branding. You can do whatever you would like. Just try to keep it minimal. And then I add product feature cards. And this is pretty simple. You come in here, you change the background color to whatever you want. I matched it to her sweater. You can change that, and you can change this. Remember, when you make these mock-ups, you're just going to come in and change the color and for your next design. You know, if it's Halloween, we're going to make it orange. We're going to make it orange just to coincide with her mock-ups. So I always put what it's made of, what is critical in the print on demand, and what we discussed is Etsy has a formula. Production time plus estimated delivery time, or shipping time, equals the estimated delivery. So our print provider tells us how many production days it is, what they're running at. So I let the person know 2 to 3 days production time, because we're going to have those people who say, you know, they ordered on Monday and it's Wednesday, and they're messaging you, my order's not here yet. Well, you say, as per my listing, it does say 2 to 3 days production time. And in the Etsy listing, it gives you that information also, because that's pre-populated. And as per Etsy's policy, it's production time plus estimated delivery time equals your delivery time. We're not Smile-A-Zon here. We're not that big store that gives overnight delivery. You know, we have to send it to our print provider. It needs to be printed. So this kind of covers policies in a subliminal way. So information here, I just guarantee, you know, if it comes messed up, Printify will reprint it. And then again, another little subliminal thing. If there's ever an issue with your order, just reach out. We're here to take care of you. That builds buyer confidence also. Okay, well, I feel good. You know, if I have an issue, she's telling me right here, or he, that if there's an issue, I can contact them. So just, it's a little reading break in between photos. So now I need to go back to my color. There we go. So you can just come in and change these colors and your text each time you do a new design. And then, of course, I've got my yellow. And again, it's just repeat and rinse. You know, put your graphic on, put your information. Because I want my customer, when they're scrolling through, to understand what color it is. And it's very important with blues. Now, here's a purchase mock-up. I have purchased mock-ups and supported my fellow Etsy people. So I've ordered one there, like her whole bundle, and I sprinkle them throughout. And then once you start getting reviews, throw in a review. I just added some stars here. And then you can change these too each time. You know, each time you're redoing your mock-ups, you can change the colors on them. See? And then we can go here, and we're just going to take that same color. Uh-oh, where did it go? Photo colors. Okay, well, I'll just add that there. Come on. Okay, it's being difficult. It's being difficult. There we go. Wow, it's slow. I'm pushing the color away and it just won't. Oh, it's me. So whatever your theme is, you're just going to, be clicking and changing colors each time and changing your graphic. So you have a template going forward. And if you're offering new colors, you're just going to bring in a new mock-up that you've already made and you'll have it there. Of course, the size chart. We need people to be able to measure their shirt and get an idea of what the sizing is. Now, size charts you can purchase and get fancy ones. This one I just used from Printify. Downloaded it, duplicated it, moved it around and added, because this is a nurse's shirt, added my branding saying that it's unisex. And again, you can just delete the nurse. And if it's Halloween time, we're going to go in here and just change, let's change it to orange. And I'm going to come here and change that to a darker orange or somewhere in around there. Don't overthink it. I don't like that one. Oh, it's a transparency probably. No, it's good. And then, you just come into elements and I'm going to look up pumpkin. Grab a pumpkin, shrink her down. And just stick it on top there. I could, you could add a skeleton. Let's do skeleton yoga. Let's see if we have a yoga skeleton. Really? Okay, well, let's go back to skeleton. It'll help if I spelt it right. You guys probably think I can't type. So skeleton. If you didn't want the pumpkin, you could bring in, let's see, we can bring the skeleton in. Well, let's change him to black. We'll change him to black. I'm going to go up here and flip him. And we're just going to plop him maybe down here. So you can add stuff to it just to go through each season, right? Brother Mo, how long have you been doing this? How long have I been doing what? Teaching the lessons or doing Canva, doing Etsy? You'll have to let me know which one you'd like me to answer. It wouldn't let me verify the CAPTCHA to log into my Etsy, but it finally went through. Yeah, I've noticed they've been doing some updates. They're constantly improving, so sometimes we have issues, right? Oh, well, thank you. So it let you buy it? Awesome. Thank you for your purchase. I appreciate you. Uh-oh, what's going on with my computer? No, we don't. Can we use a cartoon from TV show or a picture of a singer, or if it's only text and designs? No, we cannot. And I covered that actually in lesson number 5. We cover copyright. You will lose your store. Yes, you're going to say, well, I'm sorry, there's a lot of Disney, NFL, the obvious stuff, Nike, Under Armour. Don't do it. I believe Etsy's working on an AI program that's going to sweep, and they're going to take those listings down. You're infringing on somebody's intellectual property. And that goes for words too. And we went through that in lesson number 5. We did that last night. That's the first thing I cover is copyright. It's not worth the risk. And we're creative minds. We can be very creative. We don't need to. I know it's tempting to make money off of other people's IP, but we're not going to do it. It's not worth the risk, and it's random. And I've been seeing people posting, I'm packing my last order. I lost my Etsy store. They were selling NFL. I'm seeing more and more of that. Lost my Etsy store. So if you want to lose your livelihood, and especially when you get up to 1 in 200, 300, 400 listings, it's not worth the risk for one cute little item. So I would not do it. Are you using a paid Canva? I am. Now, if you don't have the paid Canva and you're going into Elements, you see I can use all these ones with the Crown, the Pro version. Just come up here to your little filter while you're doing this and select the free right here. So it will only show you ones that you can use for free. And you won't have to worry about when you go to download this. So go right to the free. So you want a size chart, and because in Printify, I will show you where to grab that. So you're going to go into your preview and your mockups, and at the very bottom, they have a size chart for each shirt. Sorry, we could not load this page. Please try again later. Printify did a major update yesterday, and I got very excited. They put a profit calculator right in their where you go to do all the product information. And I was so excited, but you got to remember, sites are always doing updates to make it easier for us and make it better. And right now it says I cannot load it. Let me flip it up. Sorry, we could not load image. Please try again later. So at the bottom of your mockups, you can get that chart, size chart. And let me go into here again, Canva. Let me see if I can find my size chart in my uploads. Let's go size chart. There it is. And I mean, I've purchased some size charts too for sweatshirts and men's shirts. Because I don't want to sit the time there, and I don't want to sit there and put in all the measurements and make a table. Size chart, either get it from Printify or purchase one. So what I do is when I download it from Printify, because they're pretty freaking boring, right? Let me just add another page so it shows up. When you download them, they're pretty boring. Right? Very boring. So what I do is I remove the background, and that's a pro feature, but you can take it over, remove.bg. Oh dear. Go back. I have to duplicate it first. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to duplicate this and just park this one over here. I'm going to remove the background, which gives me just the t-shirt. So I can kind of add my own thing. So this one here, I'm just going to shrink down. And now I can kind of move this around and add some stuff. If you want to add your own color here, you'd have to add your own rectangle. But what happens here, I can't remove the background because that gray is so light. What I do is I just shrink this down. Remember, you built this once, and then you come back to it and just keep changing designs. So I do that, and I'm going to go into my handy dandy starred, my favorite things, so I don't have to search for my rectangle. I'm going to grab this rectangle, which can be moved here. Most rectangles you only can move from the corners and the sides. Have you tried any of the embroidery yet? I have not, Shame Spiral. Once I started teaching, I've been working on a lot of things, and I have not been able to try, but there's been wonderful reviews on the embroidery. Will you be teaching the next lesson or the same lesson tonight? Tonight is Printify, getting your files in. We're behind in the evening classes. We're one behind. So Printify and Mockups in the evening will be Thursday. Oh, wait, no, what's today? Today's Wednesday. So tomorrow night, we're on Mockups at 8 o'clock. So tonight is Printify. So I just take this and I put this in behind here. And you just kind of move it around. I'm going to position it and put it to the back. And then I can just kind of move this around. And kind of build your own size chart by just duplicating it. If you want to save from, buying the size charts. Because once you create it once, all you're going to be doing is jazzing it up and changing it around. So you can see I just took that nurse, right, and turned it to Halloween. I would tweak it, of course. I'm just doing this for an example. And I want to go back. I need to get my pink back. That is going to do all that stuff. Stand by. Woo. If you ever make a mistake, you just hit this back button. You know, it's like, oh, where did it go? Oh no. So I'm just sitting back until I get my pinks back. So I just made a rectangle around that and, you know, made it a size chart. It's just information. So we now have all 10 of ours, right? Uh-oh. We got to change this back to the pink. Hold on. Pink. And I need to change this to the pink. I want to keep it the same. Okay, we're going to go to pink. There we go. So now what's going to happen is once you get this all set up, right? 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. So once you get this all set up, you're ready to go, right? You're saying, but wait, Tina, you said we're going to do a video. We are. Because Etsy loves it when you fill up all the spots. And they say that 20 to 25% more people purchase if there's a video. Well, I think what they're saying is we push it out if you fill in all our boxes. So what I do is I take usually my second one here and I just duplicate it. So we're just going to duplicate this. So I don't have to worry about losing this. Just duplicate it. I'm going to remove this cotton. I'm going to remove this here. And I don't care because I have it up here, so I don't have to redo it. Remove my little square. I'm going to keep my branding there. So now what we're going to do is, I want it to say 100% cotton. That's what I want it to say. So I'm going to go into, let's go into text. And we're just going to scroll through their text. I just want something that's going to pop out. Oh, and I kind of like this one. I really like that one. I use it too often, though. Well, let's use it. Let's do it. It's got that groovy vibe, which we are, you know, nurses are groovy. I'm just going to put it here. I'm going to double click and I'm going to say 100%. And come to the bottom word and I'm going to go cotton. Oh. Don't like how that close together that is. Let's see if we can move the lines. So we got line spacing. I'm just going to stretch, see if I can get them apart. It's not allowing because I haven't ungrouped it. So I'm going to ungroup that. And we're going to go back to line spacing. And let's see if I can separate that a little bit. And this text will not allow me to it. So I'm going to have to delete that text because it won't let me do it. And we'll go back to the drawing board. That's fine. Oh, this one's cute. I'm going to grab this one. What time tonight? 8 p.m. Eastern Standard tonight, if I didn't answer that. And what website you use. For what? CTS? Okay, so I'm going to go here. Double click. I'm going to go 100% cotton. Oop. I'm going to have to stretch that to make it fit on one line. Now let's see if I can change the outline to make it pop a little bit more. That's in effects because it has a splice and it has a blue outline. I'm going to see if white will look better. I'm going to use white. Oh, that's not the... That is not the one, so it's up here. Let's see if I can use white. It already is white. Okay, so it is white. My eyes are not... I think it says it's white. Okay, let's try black. I don't like the black. Let's go to the white and change all. So it's okay. So you can play what you want, but all we're doing is creating. We're now going to go up to animate here. So we're going to go to animate. We've got this highlighted. We're going to go to animate. And we have all these to choose from and watch what happens. Okay, so we have all kinds of options here. I'll just scroll through them and I'll go over each of them. So that is a rise. We've got a pan in. We have fade. We've got a pop. Wipe. Comes in. So this is animation, which counts as a video. And I love the breathe, 100% cotton. So that counts as a video. You can put it wherever you want, or if you want to take an element. So if you go into an element, we could have, let's look up a stethoscope. Let's grab a stethoscope. Sometimes choosing an element takes longer than... I'm going to see if this one here. Yep, perfect. I'm going to shrink it down. Change the color. I'm going to change it to the pink. You can also animate this, a graphic. I'm just giving an example. Again, the same thing. And you can have it rotating. You could flicker it. Counts as a video. Pulse. And I think I would change it to the same color as this cotton. And we can have that pulsing. So animate. And we're going to come here to pulse like a heart. So now I've got this moving and I have this moving. And that counts as a video. So what you would do is we're going to delete this page after we download it. I'm just going to name it Nurses Are Groovy Video. Because what happens once you have animation on one page, it changes your all 10 pages into a video. So if I go preview, it's going to change everything into a video. When you go to download it, it's going to save all of the pages as a video. You're not going to be able to upload your photos to Etsy because that video is going to be like 58 seconds long with those pages. So you'll have difficulties because it changes all 10 pages to a video. So I just name it Nurses Are Groovy Video. I share it. I download it. And it's page number 3. I'm just going to save page number 3, my video. Done. And download. So it's downloading as a video. Only page 3. And then we're going to delete it. So this preview here shows that your whole thing is a video by just these few animations. So we're just going to download that. And I know it seems like a lot of work, but once you have your mock-up, this one done, I don't save this one all the time. I don't, save each design in a mock-up. You're already going to download it. You have it. So you have it saved. So there we go. My video is saved. Let me come in here. Video is saved. Right there, MP4, Nurses Are Groovy. So I'm good to go. I've got my video that we'll be able to upload to Etsy. I'm just now going to delete this. Delete. And we're back to our normal. See, now we can download our photos. So here we've set up our mock-ups, our information cards. If you're using the same, the same shirt all the time, you could name this one Bell and Canvas mock-up. And just keep using it over and over. So the next one, you have to change your cover photo because right here we have a nurse, right? You have to change your cover photo. But what we do is we just delete that. And you're going to bring in your next design that you've done. I'm going to go to uploads. Let me do cherry. So you've done all your designs. You've got them uploaded and you're going to come and mock up. I do it in batches. I do all my designing first. Get everything with transparent background. Of course, I'm going to change this out. And then you're just going to come in each time. And you're going to go through here. You're going to hit delete. Duplicate. And just pull this one down. And that's all you're going to do each time, is bring in your design. Right? Delete. Duplicate. I'm using the same t-shirt. I may use different colors and have to bring in another mock-up, but that's easy to do. You just hit that, delete, and bring in one of your new mock-ups, you know, if you want a different color. Mock-up. And I want the blue one back, of course. I'm just showing that you can come back through. Uh-oh, where's my blue one? Okay, so don't panic. Go back, and there we go. I've got my blue one back. And then you would just change, you come in here and change the name of your colors. And you just keep repeating that, rinse and repeat. So you don't have to each time go through all of this because the information remains the same. It's the graphic, right? And your colors. You may change colors, but you're going to have your 5-star review once you start getting reviews. And you're just going to change out your mock-up colors. You're going to change your size chart. It always does this on the size chart. Now, another little tip too is if you come into, say you have a color palette that you always like. So one, you have 5, you have fall colors. One, you have bright colors, and then you're going to offer it in your designs. What you do is when you've created your first mock-up, like here we go. I have my nurse's mock-up. And I change this each time I download. All you do is you come here and you make a copy. Make a copy. It's going to do a whole new one. So we have a copy. So now you can come in here and change the colors of the shirts so that you have 2 of them. And you can name them fall colors. You know, if you want to have a set of colors, you can have a duplicate one. And you can duplicate them as many times as you want. So you can come in. It's just a nice way to have your color palette. Like these are vibrant colors, you know, if you know you're going to use them. You can also duplicate them. So you don't have to keep making them. And I recommend duplicating it in case, you know, you delete one by mistake. You don't go, oh, I have to create them all again. So we wouldn't use this ambulance in the back. We'd probably bring up a different mock-up. I don't like that one. So I just go through my mock-ups and I find something that, you know, I would want for my cover photo. Because this one really isn't seasonal. I could create a background with cherries in it or ice cream soda, you know, a sundae. And stretch that out. I'm going to position that and send to back. So that can be my cover photo. Because this is an evergreen product. This isn't specific to any season. So that's how quickly it will be to just put a new design in, right? Delete. You've designed 10 of them. You're going to now be doing mock-ups. Let me bring this one in. So I'm getting ready to do my mock-ups for this one. I'm going to delete that one. Delete. Duplicate, pull it down. And like I said, rinse and repeat. So setting up your mock-ups takes the time. But going forward, you're just going to come in and change your design and colors of shirts too if you want. So it becomes easier and easier. Rinse, repeat, duplicate, pull it down to the next one because it's the same size. Adjust. And you can keep this the same as long as you have the same shirt. there any questions about the mock-ups so far and designing them in Canva? I mean, we did, I showed you can purchase. We went to Midjourney. We did Playground. We just kind of jazzed it up here, you know, representing our product the best we can. See, I might bring that down just a notch. That's better. Bring that one down just a notch. You can always see how much I brought it down. 89, just needs a little bit, taking that edge off of it to account for printing. 89, there we go. Now it looks like it's on the shirt. So you will just be coming in here, changing out your back mock-up and your design, right? And if your color. So you don't have to build it each time. And you can change the color of these if you decide you want to use a different card again. You just come in, you can change it to match the aesthetic. If you wanted the traditional green for cotton. And you can just play around and make your mock-up. Just make them cohesive though, right? Your aesthetic, how you want it. How you want it to look, what feel you want to have it. But remember, in showcasing what your product is, okay? We always want it to be clearly seen. And there's nothing more important than that first one. I might make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So you want your product to be the showcase of your listing. So you want to put your best foot forward in this first image. And that's completely up to your creativity. I mean, I look back on my first mock-ups because I was anxious to get my listing up. It's like, okay, let's go. I've designed, I want to sell. And I'm highly embarrassed. I look back on my first listing and I'll bring it up. I'll be vulnerable. I think it's an inactive. I was just so anxious to get going and have my listings up. So I just use Printify's. And it's like, what? You know, we all start somewhere and we all learn. And it's like, what was I thinking? This is not up anymore. It's just in my inactive because there's no way I'd be highly embarrassed. But I was anxious, and that's like everybody else. And then they wonder why they're getting no sales, because I'll tell you what, your mock-ups look like shit. That's what happens. And this is what happened with my listing. I had to take all mine down. For those of you who are new, we had a postal strike. I had started designing last July and for Halloween and Christmas. Postal strike lasted 33 days in Q4. Ouch. I had to take everything down. And you know what? It's kind of almost a good thing. You know why? Because my friggin' listing sucked. But I learned over time, right? I did more research. I spent all that time delving into YouTube, learning the ins and outs. So get ready, and no judgment, no laughing. I just wanted to get my listing up like everybody else. Here we go. So yeah, I purchased this one. I purchased a flat lay. Not bad. You're saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'll agree. Nothing wrong with that one. But holy shit. Okay, so this is Printify. I thought I was going to be smart because I didn't want to spend money. You know, I bought one mock-up, a black one, because I figure I use black all the time, black shirt. I thought, you know what? I'm going to just remove the white background from the Printify one, and I'm going to add a graphic in behind of a wall and try to position the lights. And I got all jaggedy here thinking I'm looking cool. No, that's horrible. Horrible. Then my favorite girl, who I always verify my designs on Printify. You were there in lesson number 6 yesterday afternoon. This one is the most realistic, that didn't look like an outline. So I used her because I didn't want to buy a purple. And then I used their dreaded chair. This is not good for Etsy. This may be good for other platforms, the simplicity. For Etsy, this is just not good. And then we wonder why we're not selling anything. Oh dear. And I just took them from there. Well, that came down so quickly. It's like, no. So yeah, my very early one, they're all inactive here. I'm working on redoing the mock-ups for them. And then you could see I started to get a bit better for my Christmas. Let me bring this one up. I'm just selling the SVG here and a PNG. Thank you, but the using the Printify Mockups, not good. And I got a little bit more creative as I got going. You learn creating your information cards. And that's just a PNG. Let's find another sweatshirt that's inactive. Inactive. See, I had to switch to digital because I had no way of shipping anything to anybody. So these are all digital. Let's take a look at this one. I didn't turn that into digital. Oh, geez, embarrassment. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so I purchased a Christmas one, just one. So Jingle Bell Rock Stars. Oh, dear. I thought, I was being creative and removing the background, doing a drop shadow, adding a thing in the background. It's just, yeah. Compared to the, look at cutouts, compared to what we just created. So I'll go through this one. Because they are from Printify and they just don't look professional. Most people aren't going to relate to the vibe of it, the lifestyle. It screams, I know. I just laugh because we all evolve. You know what I mean? We're all anxious to get our listing up, and we don't think about how important the mock-ups are to make sales until you're not making any. Look. No. And then you wonder why the sales aren't rolling in. But we all start somewhere. So let's go take a look at what we just finished working on, okay? Let's go take a look at that and see the difference. So what we just viewed, the Printify mock-ups, right? Compared to what we have now. I don't know why she looks so smooth. I don't have a filter on here. I hate this camera because people don't resonate with them. So here's the ones we just made. I don't have the drop shadows. I don't have the, this is what we just did. Clear, concise, okay? Colors, video. Look at our options here. Baby blue, black, true royal. I don't have to guess which color it is, and that's really important when you offer multiple blues. The person's going to go, okay, yellow, true royal. Bang. I'm going to take true royal, and I'm coming to get my size. Add to cart, add to basket. 100%, the more realistic on Etsy anyway, okay? Now you get it, Renata? I know. Let's go back to the other one. So this is the one we just made, right? We got a nice product card, simple, not all jaggedy and trying to be fancy schmancy. I put the nurse on there, just something simple for the chart, and simple beginning, relatable. Simple process here, choosing your color. And let's go back to the other one. Oh God, what was it? I can't. I just can't. Inactive. Where is it? I was just too darn anxious to get going. With Etsy now, it's very important to them. And they grade your store. So here we go. I bought one. Yay me. And now I realize this is kind of washed out, the shirt. It's really not a great mock-up. Oh dear. I just borrowed from Printify. Honestly. And I thought I was so genius. Now it's easier with AI, right? I do, Raven. And I showed how to do that while we were creating the mock-ups in Playground. What I simply do is the question was, do you match the colors to the print store? Very important. You want your customer to be getting the exact color from the exact company. So what I do is I go into Playground, and the prompt is here. I need the hex code for Bella and Canvas 3001 royal blue, please. And it comes up with the hex code. That's okay. So I just copy the hex code here. Okay, I just copy it. It's already highlighted. I just copy the hex code. And when I'm making my mock-ups in Playground, and I'll just start over again. I'll use this one. Oh, that's not a t-shirt. So you have to be specific, right? You have to tell, can you change this t-shirt to Bella and Canvas 3001 hex code. I'm not telling them what color it is. I'm just giving them the hex code. So I didn't say True Royal. I just gave the hex code, and it should bring up that blue. And if it makes me a liar, I'm firing ChatGPT. No, never. I would never. I don't want to spend time looking for that hex code myself. I let him do that work. So I want that True Royal. And I didn't tell him True Royal. I just gave the hex code. And that is very important, Raven. Very important to have the exact color. And like I said, don't spend all your time looking up hex codes, making a list. Just ask ChatGPT to get you the hex code. There we go. I nowhere did I mention True Royal. I just gave the hex code color. And you can do that for anything, color comforts. I just stick with the Bella and Canvas for these lessons. So pretty simple. You're welcome. So let me go back. I was showing you my fails. Embarrassment. So what we just completed, I'm going to show that, and then I'm going to mention about your color charts. Let's see here, drafts, and right here. So this is our finished product. Nurses are groovy. There's our qualifies as a video. Information. Very cohesive, the same, very calming. Oh, for sure, ChatGPT found it faster than we could look it up. And then you have all our ads and stuff. So I'm very happy with that. And we created that. This was Playground. This was Mid-Journey. Playground, 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 Playground. Purchased one. So you can mix and match. Purchased one. Just make it a nice shopping experience for your customer. Like I showed you earlier, when you don't have the colors on it, you're left guessing, you're looking at a chart. And then somebody, there's 20 in the cart. They haven't checked out because they couldn't make the decision. So think about that when picking how many colors you offer. I mean, sometimes you need to offer 8 colors. But show them on a shirt. Don't make someone guess what it looks like. You know, this one I know doesn't look good on a pink shirt. Why would I want someone to order on a pink shirt when I know it doesn't look good? Because I put it on a pink shirt in Printify and decided, no, it's not going on that color. They get it and they're not happy. They're saying, geez, this doesn't, no way. So I just try to keep mine to 5 to 7 colors. One, I can show the graphic on a shirt. You don't have to go to a color chart. But if you want to be, you want to be that shop that offers many colors, because, you don't know what people want. If you follow color trends, you will know what people want. I just don't like hear how I have to look at the color and not see the graphic on it. But if you want to go that route, and that's just my own personal opinion when I'm selling. So you can go in and you can buy color charts, right? These are mock-ups. So you can take a look to see. A lot of time when they offer mock-ups, they'll offer a color chart too. Not all the time. Let's see here. So let's go to color charts for Bella and Canvas. And there's tons of bundles. So you can have, the mock-ups. I do like Goldie Mocks. I like their style. You can buy size charts. You have to explore. Trendsetter. So editable color and size charts. Bell and Canva. 4 size charts. 3 pages of color swatches. If you want to offer multiple colors, which is fine. Like I said, I prefer an easy decision. Mockups will be in the evening class, will be tomorrow night. Tonight we are uploading your design to Printify at 8 p.m. So mockups will be 8 p.m. tomorrow night in evening class. So you can buy a nice bundle here of all the color. This one gives you the tri-blend, the canvas CVSC, and the heirloom. Bell and Canvas 3000. So you can purchase the color charts if you want to offer. You're welcome. If you're not going to offer more than 7 colors, you don't need them because you're going to be able to create a mock-up. You can actually offer 8 colors and have 2 product information cards. Myself, as a buyer, I like to see what the graphic looks like on the shirt. I'm sure most customers are like that too. So let's go back to that nurse's t-shirt right here. So now is this the right one? Yeah, so we have blues. So 20 views, but nobody, there's 20 views, but why are in 20 baskets? That's the wrong one. I want to find the nurse one. Hold on, guys. I'm using the wrong example. Got too many tabs open. Okay, so let's go here. Let me just try again. So what I wonder is when you go into a listing and you see 20 views, and you see sometimes here too, 20 people have, I can't find the one, that if somebody has 20 in their basket, why haven't they checked out? Why haven't they checked out? They changed their mind or they couldn't decide on a color. Of course, I can't find the one I'm looking for. So when you're doing your research and you're looking to see what your competition is doing for pricing and all that, you have to ask your question why and go through the listing, and it'll make you understand what shoppers like. If you have abandoned shopping carts, you have to question yourself. When you look at your analytics on Etsy, you'll see that there were so many abandoned carts. You're going to say, well, why was there? And take a look at your listing. Was it clear? So there's many factors that go into it, and it will become second nature to you. So you can purchase color charts also. You can purchase them 100%, and you can purchase size charts. I showed you how to do the video. It's simply animate in Canva. Okay, I don't like all these tabs open. So let me go back here. So we created all these with I'll just give you a little overview. So we did this one in Midjourney. I showed you how to do a video with animation in Canva to count as a video because we want a complete listing. We created that one in Playground. We created a product card. I didn't do that live. That's just self-explanatory. Give some information. We have a review. And if you don't have reviews yet, you know what? Just wait for that first one and then use your review, because that will direct customers to go look at your reviews. And once those reviews start coming in, reviews are very important on decision making when somebody buys something. And those are purchase ones. That's Playground. And we did a size chart. So some product information in there, product cards. And that's how you do mock-ups. And don't forget, over time, you're going to elevate your brand. I was vulnerable and showed you my very first one I ever made. Highly embarrassing, but I was anxious to get going. It hurt me because I didn't get any sales, and I understand why. It wasn't visually pleasing. It wasn't professional looking. It looked like a a 6-year-old threw it together. It just did not look professional, in my eyes anyway. Oh, you're welcome, 411. Oh, and don't forget, over time, as you do more and more listings, mock-ups, you're going to refine your aesthetic. You're not going to know right away what your aesthetic is. You're going to evolve. You're going to change your banner in your store, your logo. You're going to change and say, okay, that's not the aesthetic I want. And that's fine. Embrace with it. Embrace it and run. You'll change, evolve. You'll go in and tweak some mock-ups. But if you start off at the beginning, very consistent color palette and stick to 2 to 3 fonts, you'll be golden. And once you're rolling, don't forget, some sales start rolling in, and you might want to invest in some premium mock-ups. Again, we have wonderful tools with Playground and Midjourney to create our own. That's a fun way. And like I said, Playground's wonderful. You guys don't need to be looking at this. It's a size chart. You'll just eventually upgrade. If you start off with, and you got really good mock-ups, awesome. And if you're already on your way, you can revisit your old listings. If you've saved your graphic and you can find it because you named it, you can always upgrade your listings and revisit them. Remember, consistency is key. Your shop should feel like a well-curated store that you've taken the time, and that builds confidence with the buyer when they're scrolling, right? Makes them stop. It seems professional. And you don't have to overhaul everything at once, right? You just take it one listing at a time. So that is everything I can show you about mock-ups, from using AI to taking it into Canva. And you don't need to have the paid Canva to do that. But believe it or not, and I'll show you in tomorrow's lesson, Etsy listings, I'm going to show you how Etsy ranks your listings. And yes, mock-ups is important. You need to have 10 pictures. And remember, Etsy is a business. They make profit from you. If you're not making profit because you have shitty mock-ups, your listing is not optimized, Etsy basically says you're wasting our time. You're not making any profit for us because they take their cut, and they don't promote your listings. We want our listings to fit their bill. And you too, if you were running a business and somebody was doing shoddy work, would you want them to, you're not going to promote them. You're going to promote the one who is making your business shine. And it's no different with Etsy. So that is it for the mock-ups. I know it's a long lesson. We're now 2 hours and 5 minutes. This one's going to be a bitch to download, but all good. So tomorrow we are going to, let me just bring it up here. Finally, we are one step closer. What we've all been working so hard for, getting our back end set up, all the administrative, going through some tools, going through Printify setup, creating our product, uploading it to Printify, choosing our products, doing the mock-ups. We're finally at the last stage. So this just reinforces, if you've been here a while with all these lessons, that there is some work, that this is not a side hustle that you're just going to, like they say, click here in 10 minutes and you're on your way. There's a lot of stuff to do, set up, and people get stuck and they stop. So these lessons help you get through them so that now you're just left with designing, putting it on your mock-ups, uploading it to Printify, and doing your listing. Because you're good, you're like golden in the back end because everything's been set up, your policies, your payments, how you're getting paid, your cancellations. We set that all up so that you don't have to worry about that stuff. So tomorrow we're going to get into creating a listing in tomorrow's lesson at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk a little bit about SEO. We're going to make sure our Printify is synced just to double check and where that lives. I'm going to show you how to optimize your titles, your product descriptions. We're going to talk about tag words, long tail keywords, alt text. We're going to go and just do it so that your Etsy listing is ready to go, optimized. Etsy's happy with it. and Etsy is happy with it in the background, and we're going to go through all that. And that is just, it's the exciting part too. And I know it, like I said, it does seem like a lot, but it's worth it, because then Etsy's going to push your products, right? They're going to push them. And I'll do one last little show of where the guide is available. It's 113 pages, so this is part of the guide. Every single lesson's in there. So it's available up in the link tree. And for those watching on YT, it's down below in the description. And like I said, it's not necessary, but it's a wonderful tool that, say, you know, you got the kids to bed, or you're working shifts and you can't catch a lesson and you don't want to watch the video. You can quickly refer to it by each lesson and set up your shop on your own, and come and ask questions too. So that's up there. And it's not, like I said, it's not a $500 MLM course with buy this, buy that. It's very inexpensive, $24.99 Canadian, and I think it's about roughly 18 US. I haven't done the conversion. So grab that there. And that is going to be it for today's lesson. I know it was a lot, and I appreciate you guys hanging out here with me. This evening's class, if you missed importing your items into Printify, your designs, and how to have that all set up to go over to publish it to Etsy, that will be this evening. So tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we'll be doing the Etsy listing. And tomorrow night we'll be doing mock-ups. So the joy of it is, if you missed mock-ups today or came in late, we'll be doing that tomorrow night in the evening. So I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. And I will catch you guys tomorrow, or tonight actually. Bye guys. Later.